Ian.
Dave.
Apex Adjacent Automotive Podcast. Ian and Dave doing automotive things. Greatest automotive podcast in the universe. Sure, whatever. Ian.
So we're told. Yeah.
We're an automotive podcast in the universe. Right?
We are one of them. That's true. Of all of them, we are certainly one of them.
Yeah, cannot be contested. Ian, I have to tell you, you and I had a fantastic weekend together, right?
We did.
Yeah, we went to the Hamptons. No, no, you and I did car things, and I have to tell you, Ian, I'm lucky to be home.
Oh no.
Because you and I did a thing. So for anybody who doesn't know, Ian joined me and dual drove my Fiat at BMW Autocross number 8, the Ocho, the last event for the season.
I'm so afraid that this means that I broke something on your car.
You did not break something, Ian. You and I broke something together.
What did we break together?
We did exactly what we needed to do, Ian.
Uh-huh.
I put my normal run-a-boot tires back on because when I came home, I noticed this.
Yeah.
See, there's my boy. For the audio-only listeners, there's massive chunks of rubber missing from the outside of my front tires. Yeah, look at that. There's the cords. Yeah, You got this chunk over here. You got this chunk over there. Yeah. So we started delaminating my track tires, Ian.
That's pretty good. We did good work.
I drove home on that, Ian.
Less than ideal, I would say.
Less than ideal. Yes. These things were not on the tires. Oh, here, I forgot to show the listeners. Yeah. These things were not on the tires when I put them on to go to the event. So, yeah, you and I did this, Ian.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I think we both knew it was the last season for these fronts, right? Because they
were looking a little paltry when we started.
Yeah.
The day. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, there's like almost no differentiation. Like this line here, there should be like an actual valley. Yeah. No, we did some work, bud.
We sure did. It was so much fun, Dave. Like we got a lot of runs in, really.
Yeah. 4 in the morning and 5 in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Each.
And the layout was really good. Like, I think we were skeptical during the walk.
Yes.
That's my memory, is that we were slightly skeptical.
Yes.
Of this layout, especially that it would be good in the Fiat. But I think, and we're going to get to this, but I think what the nice thing about this layout was that it was pretty long. It was pretty big. And it had a good mix of kind of stuff, and maybe it almost felt like a mini circuit because it was so long.
Yes. Yeah.
So I think there was some things for both of us to sort of chew on.
Yes. I think that like it when we looked at this, we knew like this part, like right here, we knew we were going to be slow on this like button hook before the slalom because it's just so sharp, and we knew we were going to be coming out of boost. This turn right here above the 2 turned out to be more sharp than we expected. Than I think kind of because there's always a little bit of variation between the map and how the course is actually laid out, because they will there's those concrete things in the ground like for event tie downs and stuff that they've replaced some of or paved over some, or there might be like a pothole or a crack that they work around when they're finally laying out the course. So yeah, this turned out to be a bit sharper. Or more sharp? What's the right term? Yeah.
Sharper.
Yeah, this turned out to be sharper. Yeah, sharperer than we expected. And yeah, so it was a really interesting course. Yeah, there was a slalom. There were some sweeper turns. There was this like long Chicago box that was kind of like a long Wallem slalom with high consequences. And yeah, Yeah, it was interesting. We had a blast, hands down. Right?
It was a ton of fun. Once again, a very hilarious sight to see the little Fiat out there
Yeah.
next to some pretty serious machinery.
Yeah. But we held our own. We dipped into what, the 62s or 63s, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, like, for a course this long, the absolute fastest time of these effing rocket dudes that are out there was like 55. But like anybody, like anything under 65 was moving through the course, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
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 And I think we were kind of thereabouts for all the front wheel drive stuff. I didn't actually go back and look at the other front wheel drive cars.
Yeah. I know we beat the Prelude, but I think this might be their first season. But they've made some great improvements. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then there was a couple minis.
Oh,
and
yeah.
Then, there was a Focus, right?
Yes. Yeah. There was a Focus running in the women's
Focus ST.
Yeah. Let me see. I think I might Go Man Go is the timing. BMW RMCCA. Go Man Go. Yeah, I can't. I don't have the domain off the top of my head, but I can pull up the timing. Oh, here we go. I got it. Yeah.
Okay.
Boom, boom, boom. Copy and paste. That's how this works, Ian. Boom. Okay, so here is our BMW RMCCA AX8 in the afternoon. Our afternoon runs, Ian. Let's see here. So here I am. Oh, we were in the 62s. Yeah. So spoiler alert, my boy beat me in my own car.
Yeah. I really thought I was going to be real far off the pace because I haven't done a lot of racing stuff this year, and also it's your car. And I think the last time we did this, I was a few seconds off of you.
No, you were within 1 second of me the last time we did it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, in my head, it was a catastrophic failure. I only had one DNF in the afternoon.
Yeah.
I didn't hit any cones.
In the afternoon? Yeah.
In the afternoon. I hit a couple in the morning.
Yeah.
You didn't hit any cones all day, I don't think.
I may have had a completely non-cone season, which means I'm not getting close enough to the cones.
Wow.
Yeah. So I goal for next year is I need to push it a little bit more. I need to get in there just a bit twitter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to kind of get used to the corners of the car and that sort of stuff. We were playing with tire pressures and that sort of thing. But man, by the end of the day, it was just like I could finally get into a rhythm.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's still my beef with autocross. Autocross. Listen up.
Take note.
Why are you so disjointed? Why does it take so long to get into a rhythm with you?
Yeah. Yeah. It's one of those things that I think you improve upon. Like, I know I have in kind of finding the way through a course, but I feel like I'm kind of like, I learn a course pretty quick, right? I learn the layout, I like third run, I am good. Right. But then optimization from there, right? Where I feel like you might have like that longer kind of ramp up, but then optimization happens, I think, faster for you.
Maybe.
Yeah. And honestly, I think the skill that you deploy during karting, where like you are learning the thing as you're doing it, is what you're using at autocross, right?
Yes, and honestly, I thought about that that morning is like, I'm gonna drive Dave's car like I drive the go-karts. Because I mean, essentially with all the lift off oversteer that you have it set up for, it's not far off.
No, it's not.
It really isn't.
Right? It's designed like I've made it that way. Like that's kind of how you have to get some performance out of it.
Right. And it's still like it does feel wrong.
Right.
To like really like huck it in all the time. It still like doesn't feel right to me. And then I would do it, and then my time would be faster, and I'd be like, well, I guess I don't know what I'm talking about.
You are right. There are times where it pays to be smooth, and I think that you excelled at that. I think my default brute force hucking like has its limits, right? Like the brute, like since you kind of have to huck it more, and there's kind of less opportunities to be smooth,
Yeah.
right? Like then I think like that's kind of what keeps me up where I am in the times. But like then you being able to like butter things out from there, like and add that like smoothness when appropriate. I think I have some things to learn, you know. I need to be more delicate in the right settings and just as severe in others, you know.
Yeah. Well, the secret is you can just drive with your pinkies out like me. It's very, very fancy.
Yeah, you do. You do. Yeah.
Okay. Well, speaking of comparing our driving styles,
yeah.
Let's get to the main event because I am excited about this.
Yeah, real quick, I'm going to look to see what one of the Mini Coopers came in at because I want to know. They run they number 73. Okay, they were a 60.0. Oh, 173 and 73. So they
was that
this
the
guy Keith, the blue one. Yeah.
Oh wow, okay.
Yeah, he's really fast. So
is that a JCW? Is that a John Cooper Works one?
It's just
a regular S?
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. He's very, very quick. Yeah.
That's very fast.
Yeah, like I can't keep up with the Mini Coopers usually, you know, which like you'd think like on paper, like my car should be kind of trading blows with them.
Right.
No, it can't. Huh. Yeah. Or I should say I can't, you know? Yeah. But anyway, okay.
I mean, we were so we should talk to like the times that we had, our results were really pretty close. I think I nipped you at the end. I think we were running really close to each other all day.
Oh yeah. Yeah. And kind of making the same kind of steps. Yeah.
Yeah. Like my first run, I think I was pretty far back, but then by the second run and then through the rest of the day, we were really close to each other. Like at one point we were 300ths off of each other.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Which to me makes it sound like we're pretty close to the limit of the car if we're both that close together all day. And I think at the end of the day, I think I ended up, was I 3/10 up or 2/10 up? Something like that?
3/10 up. Yeah. For me.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I laid down a 62.7. You laid down a 62.4.
Right.
Yeah.
Which is still pretty good. It's still pretty close.
It is for a course that long, right? To have like the Mini Coopers that I think are just better, more suited to this. And like, the supercharger can pull them out of those like low torque areas, right?
Well, and just think about it this way too, is that normally I think our gap usually when we go karting is 3 to 4 tenths, something like that.
Usually like 3 to 6 tenths. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. But that's half the lap time.
True.
That's a 30-second. That's a 30-second lap.
Right.
And this was a more than 60-second lap, and we were 3/10 apart.
Right.
So I mean, it's really close.
It is. It's crazy close. Yeah.
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 After 9 runs, we were 3/10 apart.
Right. Right. Yeah.
And that was the biggest gap we had all day.
Right. Yeah.
So yes. So Dave is now showing on the screen. YouTube. Audio only listeners, you are really fucking missing out this time because Dave put this comparison together. It has feet in it. Has feet cam.
I haven't made it public yet.
Perverts.
So I'll make it public when this episode goes up. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But it shows. So on one side is the GPS data of our runs, side by overlaid with each other, and then on the right hand side is our video, and it's so interesting because our runs were so close to each other, but we get there in wildly different ways.
We do. That's what I wanted to talk about. Yeah. So tell me like some of the things that jumped out to you and then I'll tell you some of the things that kind of jumped out to me or like made more sense to me. Right. So, and this is just our fastest run. I didn't do this for every lap, although it would be hilarious. Yeah. Right.
I mean, the thing that jumped out to me immediately is just like, if I couldn't, if I didn't know, if I couldn't see the drivers and just saw the lines and heard the thing, I would be able to tell who's driving.
Explain.
Right. Like if I just saw the line that we were taking,
okay,
and like just the top of the steering wheel, so I couldn't see whose hands they were, and you didn't have, the picture of who's driving over there, I would be able to tell who it was, just because I think I know what my driving style is like, and I know what your driving style is like.
How does that manifest what you see? Like, give me an example.
Your lines are usually a lot tighter.
Okay.
Like you have like a much like shallower, aggressive line. Like you're cutting distance a lot, whereas I am really trying to be smooth. Like there's a few corners in.
Yeah.
It's before the really tight hook into.
I know exactly what you're talking about.
S's.
Here, we'll play it. We'll have it go there. So here we go. It's scooting along. It's not.
I think this
one.
is the biggest dip where you can really see the difference between our driving styles.
Right. Yeah. Because so then we have a long turn to the right here. This is what you're leading up to, right? And your line is more dim, and I don't know how to make that brighter in Track Addict. I don't think you can, but anyway.
I think it's a heat map. So I think that's why. I think it's because I was real far off the line on this run.
No, it always does that for whatever you pick first. If I had picked you first and then compared me to your lap, it would have switched.
Oh, weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But yeah.
Anyway,
it's like playing against a ghost in like Gran Turismo. Yeah. Or Mario Kart. Yeah.
So my line through here is much wider. And the reason for that was I was trying to not let it understeer. I was trying to like not scrub off speed with the front tires. Whereas if you listen to your audio, it's like
yes, I was trying to get it to pivot.
Right. But you were faster. You were faster through that little section.
Well, so you're the blue dot here. Remember that.
So my speed was higher for a little bit.
Right.
But then I start slowing a little bit earlier than you do.
Right.
And you just did less distance.
I did.
Which I think is why you caught me there.
Right. I went in shallow. I did bog more. I did understeer more, but I did I was able to handle a little bit more speed. Right. Yeah. But you still overall were still in front at this point. So then here's like the very intense button hook turn. Right.
And my minimum speed was way less than yours.
Yes. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So like your minimum speed through here. Yeah. Like yours was 24. Mine was 27, 26.
Yeah. I think I got on like 22 miles an hour or something. Like that corner killed me all day because I could not figure out how to get it to rotate around that in a way that was workable.
Listeners, we pumped the rear tires of my Fiat up to 40 PSI just to get it to rotate more. And I still think we should go to like 42 for the next event.
I think you might be right. But no, you're right. Because I was going to say, you're right. Because the next event, you're going to have ostensibly new front tires, and they'll be front tires grippier.
Yes, proper
and so
grip.
We need less grip in the back.
Right. Yes. Yeah. I'll just keep running the same tires in the back. Those Hancocks, the 7-inch wide. Yeah. Yeah. The fronts are 8-inch wide. Much more aggressive. Yeah. Okay. But then this part, the slalom, completely makes sense because I know the edges of the car more. Of course, I'm faster through the slalom.
And you've been doing autocross a bunch. And I was, again, mechanical sympathy kicked in because every time we would hear the wheel spin, because you would unload the car in the S's, and by about the third cone, it would just start wheel spinning, and I'd like try to back out of it a little bit. And you were just like, go!
Yeah. I wonder why the traction control failed to activate in that other event. Yeah, no, I think like here's an interesting part, right? Like, so when we're going through the slalom, when we're like really close, right? And the next time we do this, I want a camera in the middle, right? Like so that we can see the front of the car, like where we properly are. But like, look at our so we're both doing the right thing here. We're turning well before the cone to get into it, right? But then if we kind
look
of like
your face in the passenger seat over here, by the way,
that's because of that effing helmet pushing my cheeks into my teeth. So I kept like pulling my cheeks back, so it looked like I was grimacing the whole time. Yeah. Oh no, I didn't want to go forward 5 seconds. How do you go forward 1 second in YouTube?
I don't think you can.
Yes, you can. Yeah, is it like a plus? No, there's a frame by frame control. I can't remember what it is. Yeah, pull up for precise seeking. Yeah, Ian's Googling it. Yeah, what is it? I don't know.
Period key to move forward a frame.
Period P?
Comma key to move back a frame.
Oh, okay.
Did not know that.
Yeah, me neither. Okay, so like if we look at this, like this is one of the middle cones, like we're pretty close. You're a little bit further out than I am. Right? Yeah, here we'll go to like one before that. Let's see here. I hope people enjoy watching this because we had so much fun making it. Okay, so there's that cone we just looked at. Then we'll look at this next cone right here. Okay, so I think I've started turning way before you into this, but you're
ahead of me at this point.
Yes, which makes complete sense because it's, I know the edges of the car, right? And so I'm still leaving like a foot on the table where it's like a foot and a half for you with the slalom, right? Oh,
interesting.
Right? But yeah.
Also, look at our pedal position because you're flat and I am not.
Oh yeah. No, yours is further down in this one.
Oh, is it? Okay.
I'm tapering off. Yeah. Right? Yeah. But then here's another example of like where you can see like really smoothing something out. You taking this like far upper line, right?
I really liked my line through here, but you ate me up through here. I think I was just adding too much distance.
Yeah. And so I think that was one thing that I noticed myself doing a lot. Like one of my bad habits is to compound corners to a negatively impactful degree, right? Where I will see a corner like way down there and like I will think like I have to like be here and here and here and here all the way for that one. And instead of like, no, I could have optimized that and still been in a good position for this one, right? And so like I'm trying to rein that in more. Also, I would like to just call out, like in the graph on the upper left-hand side, our speed. You could tell your speed through the slalom was very constant, where mine like was very sharp and darty. See how so yours
that was one thing that I noticed that you were much busier on the pedals than I was.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. And I treat it like a cart. Like I am like really like throttle on like it is a button for me. Like I'm hitting like the Atari joystick button, right? Whereas you're like properly modulating it, right? You are bringing modulation. I watched Ian, I looked at your feet, right? Yeah. I looked at your feet a lot. How much would we make for a barefoot run? But through this part, yes, you were adding too much distance. And then so here's where
I end up faster. So this is fascinating too, because like if you could back up just a little bit, because I was actually faster than you for a second there, but then I think I was braking too hard, for this left-hander,
right? Up. And then we're coming up on my favorite part.
So my exit speed is actually really good through there.
It is. Yeah, it's faster than mine.
Mm-hmm.
right? Yeah, but I'm still accelerating right here where you
Right.
taper off, right? According to the graph, right? See, like our dots went like this in the graph. You were
Mm-hmm.
tapering off and I was still accelerating, right?
Right.
Yeah. See, 43, then I'm
Yeah.
off.
Now you're faster.
Right.
And
Right.
so my minimum speed through here is slower than yours, but then I just send it through the wall.
You
And that is
effing Leroy Jenkins leap in front of me in the most insane way on this run. Okay, so we're going to play it. So I'm ahead. I am like, I don't know, what, 2 car lengths ahead at this point, right? Looking at the pictures, right? Like, see where those cones are and then where these cones are.
yeah,
right?
2
Like,
Fiat car lengths ahead.
Yeah.
One
Yes. Yeah.
one F-150 ahead.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. 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 Exactly. Yeah. Like a solid Toyota Tacoma ahead.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, and then watch what happens, folks, because it's fucking brilliant. Yeah. So I'm really ahead here, but then our boy Ian just sends it through that box, and Leroy Jenkins his ass in front of me to an insane degree. I almost catch you at the end.
Yeah.
But you were so fast through that last part. I'm playing it again because it's amazing. Look at your dot. It looks like all of a sudden you were in a car with more horsepower. Like,
yeah, I don't know what we were both doing through there. I honestly, can we go like frame by frame through that box? Because
yeah.
I was trying to watch the entrance to it. Because
Okay.
I think that's where the key is. I think that I wonder if like our line, like if our starting point was different enough over here.
Okay. Oh, whoops. Okay.
That's the only thing I could think of.
Right. Okay. So like I'm on top. I'm turning in at this point. You're starting your turn in way earlier than I did, I think. So let me go back to. Oh no, we smoothed that out. So we were both turning about almost the exact same degree on the steering wheel.
Yeah.
I think we were leaving room on the table. Not necessarily. I don't think you wanted to go too wide going into there because you would have shot out too wide on the other side. Right.
It wasn't the right. Yeah, it was. You did want this sort of like shallower angle, which wasn't when we walked it. I don't think that's what we thought we were going to want to do. But once you were at speed, you were like, oh wait, no, that's what you need.
I told you on the walk that you're just going to send it through this, and you must have internalized that because you did even more than I did. Right. Yeah. So, okay.
At some point it just clicked for me and I was like, oh, I don't have to like brake here.
Right. Yeah. I've slowed down. I'm 42 miles an hour. You're still building speed, right? Yeah. You're 46, 40, right? 47.
So you're on top. I want to see how close I get to this cone.
Yeah.
Because you were.
I left some room on the table, like 2 feet. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Okay. You maybe about 1.5 foot. You were closer. Mm-hmm. Yeah, you did a better job with that. Yeah.
But I'm also 8 miles an hour faster.
8 miles an hour faster, right? Okay, so then here comes Leroy effing Jenkins coming in at 52 miles an hour when I went in at 41, right? Yeah, so then through the box, let's see, how far out? Yeah, we're about the same distance out. I think I'm a touch. No, you're a touch wider.
I think
you're
I'm
wider.
A touch wider because I think I've got a full tire over that
crack.
That's what I was aiming for. Was that
okay? Okay, nice. Yeah. Okay, and then so here we are. We're in the same position. We're at the same GPS place, but you are 6 miles an hour faster than I am.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. Look at your face on the top when you're going, woo! Yeah. Yep. Yeah. So we just kept telling ourselves we were going to keep sending it through that. Yeah.
And then I want to see how close.
Yeah.
So pretty close to the.
You're pretty close. I think I was closer. Yeah. So look at that. Look at that right there. There you go. Yeah. I'm maybe, I don't know. What is that? Like 4-5 inches?
Yeah.
If that, yeah. Yeah. But you had already Jenkinsed me by that point. Yeah. Yeah, you were past me, right?
Yeah, and then you had a better line through these last 2 corners, but I think I
did.
had just made up enough ground.
You had. Yeah, you could lose a little and still win, right? It would be so yeah. I have a whole thing about the next time that we do this. But yeah, so whenever you'd like to get to that, Yeah.
Well, before we do that, I do have one sort of surprise for you.
Okay.
Let me pull this up. So I had said, man, it would be great if we could get like some sort of like instructor or something to analyze this. And then I was like, oh, wait, I do know some instructors. One of them is my dad. And I was like, well, he's probably a little biased. So that's probably not a good test. But I did text.
And you mean bias for me, right?
Because obviously.
Thank you, Eric.
I did text our mutual friend, Mental from Everyone Racers.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
And I sent him the link to the video.
Okay.
And I'm just going to read his thoughts on here. So I told him about, that you put this video together of us doing autocrossing. And I asked him to take a look and let me know if anything pops out at you about our 2 styles. Our times were really close all day, but we got there pretty differently. And then he said several thoughts. That nugget looks like a blast on autocross. Correct.
I doubt anybody is having quite as much fun as we are out there.
It's so silly. It's
right?
so silly.
Right?
Yeah. Okay. Especially when you get those rear tires just right and it starts rotating for you.
Yeah.
He said, you can tell the difference in style. Even though you, meaning me, always whip my ass on a go-kart track, you still drive like an endurance racer. Your hands are a little slower than Dave's. Part of that might also be his familiarity with the car, because like any good autocrosser, he is hanging it on the ragged edge. And this is where we cut back to the picture of the tires. He said, through the first set of sweeping S's, it is interesting how wide you exit and how much distance you put on Dave's dot. So he's talking about the very first, after the first corner. That first set of S's where all day you were like, oh man, I like your line through that. Like this part. Because I do put some distance on you here.
You do, yeah.
But as soon as you get to the slalom, Dave's dot catches you and runs past. The big left sweeper, you go way wide. Dave puts some distance on you, but your road racing line gets you a higher exit speed.
Right.
Through the last bit of slalom, you all swap back and forth, seeing your wider line, but he carries more speed. Till the end, you're almost identical. He said, "You're right. It's a really cool video."
Okay.
So he really liked the way it was put together and everything. Because I think it is super interesting to see 2 people with pretty different driving styles, getting a pretty similar lap time.
Yes. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Like we said, we have different ways going about this, and we're winding up so close, right? Yeah. Yeah. 3/10 of a second. Right. Yeah. It's crazy.
I keep watching something different every time.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting just to watch the inputs.
Yeah.
And just like how quick the inputs are, or how often they're made, and how in some areas it's rewarding to be faster with your inputs, and some areas it's rewarding to be slower with your inputs. Right.
If you could take the best parts of both of us, we would have a killer autocross run, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So one of the things that's difficult about autocross is that since the course changes every time, it is really hard to tell if you are personally improving or not, right? Mm-hmm. And so last season, I kind of, I kept track of where I was percentage-wise from 3 other racers that were at every event. And I could tell there was one course that I didn't click with, and I was down percentage-wise, right? Because that's all you can look at is percentages. You can't look at seconds, right? Mm-hmm. So you have to think about this race, I was 3% off this person's pace. This race, I'm only 2.5%. And then even then, were they having a bad day, right? So this is all fuzzy logic, right? There's no with High Plains Raceway, it's exactly the same. This does not move. It does not change. You have this consistency, and we don't have it in autocross, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's difficult to tell whether or not we're improving other than like just by feel, like, oh yeah, like I can tell like I am getting closer to maintaining the car on that edge, right? Like it feels like floating to me. I don't know if it feels that way to you.
Yep.
Right? Where like it feels like you could effing lose it at any second, but somehow you're still in control of the car, right? It's a very like almost out of body or disconnected experience, right?
Yeah, it's lovely. It's the best feeling in the world. Yeah.
Yeah. Like have you tried some other things? but like, yeah, it's almost like everything has become like, yeah, it's a very weird feeling. Like everything's become disconnected, but like, yeah. So like, unless you're kind of like getting to that, and like you get that feeling when you start to learn to like snowboard or skate or something like that, where you're more and more comfortable with the speed you have and like getting scared in different ways. But yeah, so having this data like it ticks such a huge box inside me to like let me know like there are things I can change. I don't have to like just drive my way, right? Like I can try other things and do other things. Right. You know, yeah. Yeah. It's really interesting. And so I want to do more of these. I would love to do more of these. I think you and I could do these at the outdoor track, at the outdoor go-kart track. Right?
Yeah.
We can have GPS there, right? And next season, I would love for you to dual drive with me at every event you possibly can.
Yeah, that'd be fun. Yeah, this was that was so much fun. It was exactly what I needed. And it was a blast.
Yeah. The thing that I love about my Fiat is when other people drive it. Like I love that. It makes me so happy. Like having Joel dual drive with it, my son-in-law, right? Like Thomas driving it, like it makes me so happy. And like, I'm so fulfilled by that. Like just to have somebody just dork out and enjoy such a like goofy car with me I love it. Yeah.
I'm just happy that I'm the only one who's been faster than you.
It's no surprise, Ian. You're effing quick. And when we go karting and we get in our cars to go home, the Fiat doesn't feel that much different. Right? Like it's jarring when I get in my Lexus.
I bet.
But the Fiat, it's just kind of like you're stepping into like just a bigger cart, Yeah.
Yeah. It really does drive home. I know that this is a thing that I do need to work on with my driving, which is I need to know when it's okay to just cut for distance, to shave distance. Right. And I have a hard time with that. I have a hard time because in my head, if I'm approaching the limits of the tires, that means I'm pushing too hard and I need to not do that. Right. But sometimes that's what you need to do. And just need to, sometimes I just need to like, cut distance. Right.
Yeah. You can't let the endurance racer, like I'm worried about these tires like 20 laps from now, 100 laps from now.
Yeah. Right.
You need to treat my Fiat almost as bad as you treat a rental car.
Well, now you say that, but if I had pushed as hard as you did, maybe those tires wouldn't have lasted you all the way home.
I think you're right. Yeah. I think both you and I got the absolute money's worth out of those things. Yeah.
Yes, I would say so.
But Ian, like right now, I am telling you that you have an open invitation for every single autocross event with me next season. Like,
well, thank you, Dave.
For real. I know, like, you got a lot of stuff going on. You won't be able to make it, but for everyone that you would like to make, it is your seat, man.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I would love to. It's a lot of fun. It's grown on me, I will say, because I think the first time I drove autocross, I was like, I don't know about this.
Sure.
But yeah, I really liked it. It was fun. This weekend especially was great.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like us to prioritize the test and tune next season, because you, PETA, Joel, like we'll all be able to take turns in the car and like and just all have some data, right? And in each other's cars if we want, you know?
Yeah, that'd be fun.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. Like I love seeing this. This makes me very happy. I'm looking forward to doing more videos. And so folks, this kind of brings us to our next topic, but if you liked like what we're talking about, like with this autocross and like how we're, I don't know, kind of finding our way through it, let us know, because I'm really digging this. Like this, I'm very thankful for the lemon stuff that developed this season, you know? Yeah. I just want people to drive my Fiat with me, you know? Like, yeah, it's an experience best shared, you know?
Yeah. Oh man. It was really cool.
Yeah. And the other thing is, if something breaks, it's okay. It was gonna break anyway. So like the Fiat is like this, like it's not precious, but it's not disposable. And it is made to, like, I have built it to do this thing. I want it to do this thing.
I'm glad you brought that up, because it really did. I was very impressed with how well it ran all day, where it really didn't miss a beat. Like we were at the point when you're at the point where the car is reliable enough and stable enough that you can change the rear tire pressure by a PSI or two and notice a difference. Like that really speaks to how like consistent and stable the car is, and that's all down to all of your hard work. So you should be very proud of how well that thing performed. Being driven 18 runs over the course
18 runs on, like, in the afternoon was well over 90 degrees. Yeah. Yeah, at altitude.
And not being babied in any way.
No. Honestly, putting it through like the worst heat cycling you can for a car, where you run the shit out of it and then you stop right. Air moving through it. Yeah,
absolutely. So right. it did great. You didn't have any of the problems that you have had in years past. So yeah. It's been awesome.
Well, thank you. Yeah. What did you say? Like you were saying, like, even when everything is going wrong while you're out there, it's still fun in this car, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The runs where you make a mistake are usually the funniest, right?
right. Yeah. So
I think it also helps that you're competing against no one,
right?
Because there's no car that is remotely in the same class as you.
Right.
And so like the stakes feel very low.
Right. Yeah. No, it's like, it's that thing where like my goal is for my times to be kind of surprising, which right? Yeah, which I think they are, like, oh, that's not awful, Right. Yeah. So yeah, it makes me very happy to do this, and I'm very, very jazzed on how we could experience it together. And for anybody who doesn't know, we rode with each other for every single run. So like, we can't like nip at each other about weight difference or anything like that. But like having the other person in the car for each and every run was hilarious. Yeah.
It was way more fun, because we did one last year where we couldn't be in the car with each other.
Yeah.
And this was way better, because I felt more comfortable pushing the car, because I knew like if I was going overboard, you would tell me I was going overboard.
Yeah. There was one time where I told you to be like less severe with what you were doing one time for the entire day.
Yeah. There was one time where I really started to overdrive. I think it was like right at the end of the morning or something, the last run of the morning.
Yeah, I think in the slalom. Yeah.
Like I got a little punchy.
Yeah.
And I didn't have a great time because of it. Like my time was less than it had been. But yeah. It was a great time. Dude. I really appreciate it.
No problem. Again, open invitation. Yeah. Very few things make me as happy as doing that with my boy. Yeah. Like autocrossing with you and Peta and Joel and everybody else with the BMW club has been such a rewarding experience and so fun. Ian, did you know how I always do a goofy waiver picture?
Mm-hmm.
People should go to the current issue of Bimmer Life and look at page number 168 because your boy is in the Bimmer Life magazine.
Really?
Yeah. Here, let's see here. Bimmer Life magazine. It is the newest issue, which is the fall. What is it? Publications. Here we go. Yep. Fall, winter 2024. Read the issue. I didn't know this was happening. Janet threw my waiver picture, and she loves the waiver pictures I do. So yeah.
That's really funny.
Thank you. Yeah. I don't know if there's a way to like go to a specific page here. Reading a PDF online is never great. Okay.
It's the best. That's how I read all my things.
Yeah. Right. 168. Yeah. But basically they were talking about like kind of keeping things fun, but still having people like do what they're required to do to show up, like the waiver picks and stuff. Mm-hmm. And so they were talking about just briefly there's my waiver picture of me sleeping. Yeah. There we go. Let's see. Yeah.
That's great.
There you go. Yeah. That's one of my more mild ones. Yeah.
You snuck an Apex adjacent sticker into the Bimmer Life, which I appreciate.
Yeah, not a problem. Yeah. So we're in Bimmer Life, Ian. How about that? Yeah. Yeah. We've shown up in weird places because when we were at Unser.
Yeah. When we were at the karting place.
Podium. Sorry.
Yeah, Podium. Yeah. We were at Podium. Eagle Eyes over here. Dave realized that we were sat through the because we had people there who hadn't been there before. We had to sit through the safety briefing, and Dave realized that one of our old stickers was in one of the shots, like on one of the employees' helmets.
Yep.
Of the safety video.
Yeah. We're one of our stickers is in their safety video, Ian. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
A little Easter egg for you.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. We show up in weird places, folks. Yeah.
Yeah. Like your house right now.
No, we don't. Oh, Ian. Yeah. So there you go, buddy. Yeah. This has been autocross adjacent, man. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, buddy. So I don't know. I have other stuff I want to talk about, but we could probably save it for another episode because it's some pretty heady stuff. I want to talk about kind of like what the future holds for you and I, like, because I think that we found a lot of stuff that we're really passionate about lately with autocross and lemons and endurance racing and stuff like that. And I kind of wanted to talk to how all that correlates to like the automotive press stuff and like kind of things like that, and kind of chop through, maybe have like just an open discussion, you and I on the show about it,
Okay.
But yeah, I think we could table that for another time. Like, but
let's say next week.
Yeah.
Podcast about podcasting.
Yeah, for sure. And yeah, please folks, let us know what you think about us kind of doing this autocross, nerding out on data and stuff like that. And if you have ideas for, how to make things more digestible or, things like that, I'd love to hear it. Yeah.
So yeah, let us know what you think about the nerding out on data piece, but also if there's other stuff that we've done in the past or you would like us to do, now would be a good time to do that. Cause I think it sounds like we're going to talk about that next week. So shoot us a note.
Yeah. Yeah. We're not going anywhere, right? You're not going to get rid of us, but yeah,
you could just not play it.
Yeah. You just skip page 168 of Bimmer Life.
Right. Yeah. 720-515-1391. Leave us a voicemail or a text, an SMS text message.
Yes.
Yeah. Should we do an album of the week and then close this out?
Ian, we absolutely need to do an album of the week.
Cool. Okay. So this is like, you ask me if I like this, or if you listen to this, what, that. So I had this moment. So I have XM in the family car, and they've been playing this song on XMU by somebody called Slim Dan.
Okay.
And the name of the song is Celebrity Lookalikes. That is not my album of the week. But
Okay.
there's a part of the song, which I like the whole song, but there's a part of the song where he does a thing with his voice. And I was like, that's the Mercury Rev voice. And so now it made me want to listen to Mercury Rev.
Okay.
And so I'm going to say, go listen to Deserter Song, which is my favorite Mercury Rev album.
Okay.
From 1998.
I was gonna say we're getting '90s boy back in here.
Little 90s.
Yeah.
Little 90s.
Okay. Okay.
It's it's just such a pretty like indie rock album.
Yeah.
It's gorgeous. I know that other people like other Mercury Rev records more. I like all of them, but this is my favorite.
Okay. Okay.
I think it's probably just the one that I found first.
Sure. Right.
But yeah, it's a beautiful, beautiful indie rock record. Flaming Lips ripped a lot of this off.
That's okay. Yeah.
Were you ever a Mercury Rev fan? It's a little. It's not really in your wheelhouse.
Dabbled. Yeah. 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 I would go more Stone Roses than Mercury Rev.
Okay.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and I like this sort of like very grandiose sort of 90s indie rock, like Spiritualized, Mercury Rev, like all that stuff. So if you like Spiritualized, you'll like Mercury Rev.
Right? Yeah, that is for sure. Yeah. Nice. That's a good pick, man.
Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. And I actually have this on vinyl. I found an original press of this when I was in San Francisco a few years ago.
Oh, nice. Okay.
It sounds killer.
Well, you don't have it. I have it.
You do have it. And actually, yes, that's on the list for this weekend. So,
okay.
If you're around, we'll talk about that.
We'll talk. That's an off-show conversation, Ian.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Well, links to Mercury Rev, Deserter Songs in the YouTube description. Yeah. And that video, we'll put a link to the Autocrossing video in there, and we'll make it public so that folks can watch it. Yeah, I'll make it public tonight so it doesn't taint the main feed. But yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, so there we go.
All right. Well, Dave.
Ian.
I think we done did a car show. Everybody, apexadjacent at Gmail and everywhere else. 720-515-1391. Thank you. We love you. Goodbye.